Hello everyone. So let's now in this session we are trying to understand how we can create VPC. Okay, so open your AWS console and log in your AWS account, and there is a search bar. In this search bar you can search VPC service. So you can check that this is a VPC service that will offer by the AWS. Okay, open this service. If you open this service, now it's showing this VPC dashboard. And here you can check all the VPC. Yes, no. If you want to check your VPC, in the left hand side there is a virtual private cloud, and here you want to check your VPC subnets. Yes, no. You can click on your VPC first of all. Just click on your VPC, and here you can check here by default. Yes, no. One VPC is available, and you can check this VPC is available. So actually, what happened when you creating any instance or any resources, those resources will be created under this VPC. Actually, by default in AWS, one VPC is available. This is a default VPC. It means whatever resources you have created, those resources will be created under this network. So you can say this is a default VPC. This is your default VPC. This is a default VPC, yes. Okay, if you want to create own VPC, it means own private network in AWS cloud, you can create own network also. So you can check if you want to create own network, there is option create VPC. So just let's understand, yes, no. You can create own network, own private network. In that network, you can place your resources. So here you can check here VPC. Yes or no? You can give any name. You want to create a VPC. What name? You can give the name of your VPC. And once you give your VPC name, here you can check here IP address IPv4 CDIR block. So here you need to specify IP range. So private network is nothing, guys. We can say just like a range of IP addresses. Range as IP addresses. So what is IP address? I hope you are aware some basic idea of networking. Yes, no. IP address is nothing is a unique number. Yes, no. That identifies a device that are connected to the internet. IP address stands for Internet Protocol. So IP addresses basically are used to send and receive data between devices on the internet. So here you can specify a range of IP addresses. So you can check, go to Google and you can search here private IP addresses. Here you can type range. If you press enter, you can check it. So what is IP address? So private IP address is a set of IP addresses that are reserved for private network. And here you can check here IP addresses. You can check here basically there are 4 octet. Yes, no here. And IP addresses, these are classes. You can check your IP addresses classes. If you want IP addresses actually divided into several classes, you can check here. IP addresses, yes, no, three class A, class A, class B, class C. This is the IP addresses range. You can check it. Class A IP address range. This is a class B IP address. So IP addresses, private IP address are divided into 3 classes. Yes, no. Class A, class B, class C. So this is the IP range. Yes, no, 10.0.0. Yes, no. This is the IP range. IP range, there are 3 classes. So IP address is nothing, is that there are 4 octet and each octet actually contain 8-bit number. So we can say just like yes, no, there are how many octet? Yes, no, there are 4 octet. So 4 octet here, just like 10 dot you're writing 0 dot, suppose something. Yes, no. So there are total how many octet? There are 4 octet. Each octet contains 8-bit number. So 8-bit number. So 8-bit means IP addresses is 32-bit address number. So 8 for the 32 because there are 4 octet and each octet contains we can say 8-bit number. There is one 4 octet which contains 8-bit number dot then 4 octet then 1 more octet 4 octet. Each octet is a 8-bit number. So IP address is written in dotted decimal notation, yes, no, where each octal is a decimal value between 0 to 25. So IP address, whatever IP address you written, yes, no, IP address written in dotted decimal notation, where each octet is a decimal value between 0 to 225. So you can say each octet can be, there are 4 octets, each octet value can be like between 0 to 225. You can say 10.0 till 250, 50, 50, 55. Yes, no? And each octet has what value? Each octet is a decimal value between 0 to 255. So octet in IP addresses are used to identify network, yes, no, on the host. So you need to specify IP addresses range, yes, no, by which we can uniquely identify. So here you can check here while you're creating this VPC, yes, no, that time you need to specify IP addresses range. So IP addresses range, we have discussed IP address when you're writing, just like I'm writing 192.168 dot 1.255. If there is a 4 octet, each octet has 8 bit, and each octet value can be like between 0 to 255. So suppose you have allocated any machine, suppose we want to start from 0.00, so you can say each octet can contain 8 bit. So therefore 5, 6, 7, 8 dot 0, 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dot 0, 0, 0, 0, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and G1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So suppose this is a first type range, and then you want to specify one next one. So you can change each octet value. Okay, so you can specify range of IP addresses. So total how many 8 bits, total 8, sorry, there are 4 octets. Each octet contains 8 bits. It means total 32 bits. It means 2 raised to power. We can say 2 raised to power. Yes, no? Okay. And now here you need to specify CIDR range. Which range? So you can check here what is the CIDR range. CIDR range. You can read here CIDR range. CIDR stands for actually classless inter-domain routing format. Actually, while you're allocating the IP address, so you can use CIDR range. CIDR range is nothing just like class inter-domain routing mechanism. So what is the CDIR range? So CDIR IP address append a suffix value starting the number of network address prefix bit to a normal address. Like you can check here. Suppose you specify IP address 192.0.2.0/24. So total how many bits? 32 bits. So here what you notation you are giving /24. So you can subtract 32 minus 24. So 32 minus 24. So 6 to 8. What is the difference? 8. So 8 means 2 raised to power 3, 8. Yes, no? So how many IP addresses you can assign? You can assign, if you give this range, it means under this IP range, there are this number of hosts can be allocated. Okay, if you want to check, yes, no, there is a calculator also CIDR range, and you can specify your IP addresses, yes, no, 192, suppose CIDR range, and then this is a calculator, online calculator that you can use, and okay, 1 minute. Okay, online calculator if you want to check. CIDR calculator is also coming, you can check here. So you can specify IP address range from where, yes, no? Okay, start IP address, okay, you need to specify. Okay, this is a conversion. Okay, your CDIR range you want to check. So CDIR, okay, here you can check your IP CDIR range. CDIR range, area range calculator. Okay, so CDIR range is nothing, guys. Yes, no. You can specify, yes, no. How many machine, how many computers, how many hosts, yes, no. You want to allow using the CDIR range. So you can check while you creating a VPC, yes, no. You need to specify how many hosts, yes, no. How many IPs. Otherwise, actually, without CDIR, while we are assigning the IP addresses, there are a lot of IP address might be chance to miss. So here you can check it just like we have given example. Let me check here. If you give the example IP address 192.168.0.0/16. So /16. So it means /16 total how many bits? 32. You can subtract 32 minus 16. What the outcome? 16. So 2 raised to power 16. It means how many machines you can allocate? How many IP address can allocated in this network? How many hosts can be allocated within this network? 2 raised to power 16. So first host machine IP address start with 192, 168, 168 and 0.0. So it means 16. So 32 minus 16, 2 raised to power 16. It means there are total how many octet? There are 4 octet. Each octet contains 8 bits. It means first 8, 8, 16 is fixed. Yes, no? And then this octet, yes, no? Remaining 2 octet can be changed 0 to 255. So first octet, no, first host IP will be suppose 192, and then last host, yes, no, 168. That this value can be changed 0 to 255, and then this octet value also can be changed till 255. So between this range to this range, yes, no, that number of IP addresses can be allocated within this IP range, within this IP range. So this is a IP address CIDR range. So you need to specify CDIR range, you know, and while you creating, yes, no, your VPC network. So suppose, yes, no, we have specified this range. And now this range you can divide further into sub-network also. If you want to divide into sub-network, you can divide into sub-network also. That is called as a subnet. What is called as a subnet? Okay, so let's now we are creating one IP addresses. Yes, no, you can clear this. Let's now I'm going to create one VPC. So I'm going to create our VPC. So I gave the VPC name like my VPC. My VPC. And now, what is the IP range? Suppose I give the IP range 192.168, yes, no, .0.0/16. This is the IP range we have given. And now, once you create IP address, yes, sorry, VPC, you can check your VPC is created. Now you have assigned one range of IP addresses. And now there is option is a create VPC. Now simply you can create a VPC. You can check your VPC successfully is created. You can go to your VPC and now you can check it. Now you have created one more own VPC, and this VPC IP range you can say this is the IP range. Yes, 192.168.0.0/16. As per your requirement, you know what IP range you need, you can mention. Okay, once your VPC is created, now this VPC you can further divide it into subnetwork. So how you can divide that? You can use subnet, guys. What you can use? Subnet. So that purpose you can use subnet. So suppose you have one network, you can check here. Important one point. Suppose you have one network. Let's. What network you have specified IP range? 192.168.0.0/16. Yes or no? So it means your IP address range start from one first host value 192.168.0.02, guys, to 192.168. It means you can check it. In the suffix, what is that mentions? 16. So 16 total how many bits? 32. You can subtract 32 minus 16. 16. It means It means 2 raised to power 16 IP addresses can be assigned to your host in this IP range. Okay, so 16 it mentions how many octet can be changed. So first two octet, okay, still same because yes, no, total 32 octet. So remaining last two octet you value you can change from 0 to 255. So this octet value can be changed 0 to 255. This octet value can be changed to 0 to 255. So this is a one your network IP range. Now this I network, if you want to divide into further some network, so you can create sub network. Just like I want to create one network, network one, and now I specify yes no this IP range 192 okay dot 168 and dot you can check here dot okay first you can check first I 0 and then next we can start from 1 dot 0 till why guys 192.168 now we are changing value this 1 to 255 suppose. So it means we can say in this network 192.168.1.0/24. So we can create one network. In this network, this IP range is comes. So /24 means guys 32 minus 24. 32 minus 24 means 8. 2 raised to power 8. 2 raised to power 8 it means only last octet value can be changed. Yes, no, this octet fixed and last octet you can change 0 to 255. So 2 raised to power 8 that number IP address can be allocated. Now similar you can create one more network subnetwork. You can create network second network. In this network IP range will be like 192.168. Now we are changed from 2. This octet value we are changing 2 to till 0/24. And this in this way if you want to create one more network 3, so okay you can create network 3 also 192.168. Okay, now we have changed this value 3 dot till 0/24. So in this way yes no you can allocate your network. Okay, go to your yes no VPC. There is option subnet. You can select subnet. You can check there is a default subnet is available. Now you can create own subnet. If you want to create, you can click on your subnet and you can check here there is a VPC. You want to create subnet for which VPC? I want to create subnet for you which VPC, within a which VPC? My VPC. You can select own VPC. Once you select your VPC, you can check it's showing this IP addresses range. Yes, no. Now this your VPC IP address. Within this VPC, you can create sub network. You can give some network name. Let's I have give the network name like network 1. Okay, so you can give any name like I have a network 1. What the availability zone? In which zone? Yes, no, you want to create this network IP network, you can select. So as per your requirement, you can create anywhere where you have required. So suppose I want to create Asia South 1A, you can create. And now you need to specify IP range. That is important point. So this is a IP range. Yes, no, you need to specify CDIR range. So now you need to specify IP there. So now this okay, your VPC network IP address 192. This is a VPC CDI range. What your subnet CDIR range? So you can specify your subnet CDIR range. So within this VPC, yes, no. So your subnet CDIR range, you can specify your subnet CDIR range. So suppose first network CDI range is equal to we are specify 192, sorry 192, 168, and then 1.0/24. You can specify. So it means total in this network, how many hosts can be assigned? 2 raised to power 8. Yes, no. Total, this is your VPC. Within a VPC, we have created one separate portion, separate network. That's not one isolated network, sub network. In under this network, 2 raised to power 8, that number of hosts can be assigned. That IP address can be located. Okay, you can create own subnet. There is option create subnet. So now you can check here your subnet is created. This is your subnet. So you have created one VPC. Within a VPC, yes, no, you have created own subnet. Okay, in this way, suppose you want to create one more subnet, yes, no, your VPC, you can divide it into further subnet, yes, no. So okay, so whenever you want to create subnet, select your VPC and select your, yes, no, in which, okay, give your subnet name. Suppose I give the name like network. This is a network 2, and you can select your availability zone. So availability zone, we have selected AC South 1B now this, and now this your IP range. Now you can specify CDIR range for this subnet. So 192.168 dot, okay, we have earlier we have selected for network 1. So you can check 2.0/24. So now this IP range, yes, no, this subnet IP range must be lie, yes, no, within your VPC IP addresses, because this subnet you created within your VPC. Let's we create a subnet. So in this way, yes, no, you can create any number of subnet as per your requirement. So I have created two subnet, guys. How many subnet we have created? There are two subnet we have created. Okay, if you want to create one more subnet, you can create own subnet. You can, okay, let's now select your VPC, and now VPC range, subnet name. We have give the subnet name like network 3. This is your network 3. Availability zone, you can select as per your requirement, whatever availability zone you want to select, and then you can give the CDIR range. So 192, you can 168, 1.2, yes, 1 we have reserved 2, and now we can specify 3.0/24 for this subnet, and then you can create a subnet. So in this way, yes, now you can create any number of subnets. So how many subnet we have created? 3 we have created. If you want to create one more, so you can create one more. Select your subnet, and now you can check here. Select your VPC, sorry, and give your subnet name. We have created the one more network. We want to create network 4. So now availability zone you can select as per your requirement, and now you can give IP range. So now IP range 192.168.1.2.3 we have reserved. Now we can select 4.0/24, and then you can create a subnet. So you can check here, we have created subnet. Okay, go to your VPC and you can check here also. Go to your VPC. If you open your VPC, once you open VPC, you can check here. You have created one VPC with your name, my VPC, and you can check the detail your VPC, your VPC ID, this status showing available your VPC, and here you can check here there is option resource map. You can click in this resource map also, and here you can check in graphical form. Okay, you can check here, you have created one VPC. Under this VPC, yes, no, this VPC is a private network. Now this VPC further we have divided into 4 network: network 1, network 2, network 3, and network 4. You can check it, there are 4 network, yes, no. So network, okay, you can in south 1 we have south 1, yes, no, in this availability zone we have created one network 1, we have created network 2 in this availability zone. Under this availability zone we have created 2 networks. So now this network, this is a subnet, yes, no, this subnet is part of your VPC. So this is a way, yes, no, you can create own VPC. So you have created own VPC. Now within your VPC, you can create, you can launch own resources. Whatever resources you want to place, you can place those resources in your VPC. Okay, so in next session, yes, no, we will discuss, how we can launch and how we can place, yes, no, whatever resources you want to place in your network, you can place. So what I hope you will get the idea, first of all, what is a VPC and what is a subnet, and VPC service, how helpful. So sometimes you have required to create own private network. So you can create one isolated section private network in AWS cloud using the VPC service. So VPC service is allowed to create one isolated section in a cloud in that section you can launch your resources, and that isolated section you can further divide it into subnetwork that is called as a subnet. So subnet is nothing. Subnet is a part of your VPC. Yeah, in simple terms, we can say subnet is a subnetwork of your VPC. So I hope it's clear what is a VPC. Thank you.